Yo, what's going on, people? This is your boy, comedian Alfred Kainga. Welcome to the Only Touch Greatness podcast with my main man, Ryan, the greatest white boy in Vancouver.
The mayor of C-Town, Ryan Hayes, and his big name guest.
Only Touch Greatness podcast, Vancouver's best show with Ryan Hayes.
Often imitated but never duplicated, I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes.
Looking for the most beers on tap?
Great steaks, great staff. Head over to the John B.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Say Hayes sent you.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, let me tell you something. When you watch me when I do my shows, I want you to be comfortable with me, so I'm comfortable with y'all. So with that being said, I don't want you to freak out when I tell you this. I am from Africa, Ebola free. Yeah, so ma'am, if a little spit flies out and hits you on the forehead, you ain't gotta rush out of here talking about, oh my gosh, and go to Texas Presbyterian. They won't be able to do nothing for you, you know? I'm good. But listen, I'm glad to tell you Ebola came and went, because when Ebola first hit America, that there damn near messed up my life. Ebola nearly ruined my marriage. I'm gonna tell you why. I've been with my wife for 7 years. We've been married for 5. My wife's from here. Got me a sister from the 3rd Ward. Now she's classy, but she a little ghetto. Cause that's how I like them, 50-50. You gotta balance it out, But when that little Ebola hit, I'm telling you, this woman turned her back on me. Came into the house one evening doing that ghetto mess, Well, I got some ghetto folks in here. You know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't think we should be sleeping together right now, cause the Africans got Ebola and I just don't want to catch nothing, boo-boo. That's my own wife, you hear? I looked at her and I said, let me tell you something, you sneaky bitch. If we catch Ebola in this house, I'm whooping your ass. Cause evidently you got another African you've been messing around with every day man. I got that squared off, you hear? So you gonna give me some tonight. Boo-boo. I'm telling you, man, these new school rappers have lost touch with reality. The stuff they talk about, we can't relate to. Talking about who got it. Man, that's $1 million car. And you just so happen to wake up in one. Here I am listening to your music while I'm driving a 99 Kia Spectrum. Telling me you want me to buy your other album. Guess what? I got the internet now. I'm gonna download your shit for free.
Motherfucker called me last week talking about, hey man, you gonna come help me move this weekend from my apartment? I said, nigga, no. I'm a grown ass man. What the fuck I look like spending my whole weekend going up and down 3 flights of stairs? At 42 years old, that shit will take you 6 weeks to fucking recover. I have a hard time walking to my mailbox at that. You think I'm gonna spend my whole fucking Saturday carrying your heavy ass shit? And then you ever notice broke motherfuckers got the heaviest furniture on planet Earth? And they be bragging about it too, like, yeah, nigga, this is oak. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't need oak. You need IKEA. You live in the fucking apartment. This is some bullshit.
Scan the code and follow. Often imitated but never duplicated, I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes.
Tuning into I Only Touch Greatness podcast, Vancouver's best show with Ryan Hayes.
Born in Zimbabwe, what was childhood like for you growing up? And was it hard to learn English?
That's a very interesting question. So Zimbabwe is a British colony. So we were colonized by the British. They came out there and, they built these big schools and they were like, who wants to learn English? And I wasn't doing shit. So I said, fuck it, I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
no,
it is English as well, actually.
it's English, so English is the official language. They colonized us back in the 1800s, right? So they'd been around for a long time, up until 1980, when we got our independence. So yeah, so growing up, speaking English wasn't anything major. This is something that we learned in school. But life was awesome, man. Life in Zimbabwe is very different from here, in the sense that you got three spectrums, very similar but different. You got three spectrums growing up in Africa. Zimbabwe, you got your rural upbringing, you got your city life, and then your city life is split into two. You either across on the rich side, or you on the other side of the poverty datum line, where it's like in the hood. So I was very fortunate that I was able to experience all three facets of life in my country. My grandparents have got their own little homestead in the rural. So I used to get thrown out there during the holidays, and it's like there's no electricity. You take care of the cattle, the animals, and then back in the city, you had it all. You got your transportation system, your electricity, you got your schools. So it was pretty dope growing up like that.
When did you know you had developed the comedic side of yourself? And were you always a class clown as well?
Sort of. I was more like the family and school clown, because class clown is just like you in class and you making everybody laugh. I was beyond that, man. Like I was making people laugh at home and the whole school. But I really developed my comedic prowess in high school, where I really just got into the zone, and I was like, hey man, I can really do this. I can really make people laugh. But it wasn't like anything that I thought of like, okay, I'm gonna make a career out of this at that point.
When did you first think you were gonna make it a career?
When I first moved to America. So I came out here in 2001. I came to college. And the comedic nature followed me, right? So I'm still making my friends here laugh, and my coworkers. And one day, one of my coworkers was like, "Dude, man, I think you should get on stage and just try to do some open mic." And that's all I needed to hear, because I'd been thinking about it, but I didn't know where to start. So we found a comedy club right here in Dallas, and man, they called me, and I went out there and I did my little 3 minutes, and that's how I started.
Yep, you got that one. So I seen when I was reading in and doing questions for you, the on 2014 semifinalists on Shaq's comic.
Yeah,
competition. Yeah. Can you tell us about that story? And like, how dope is Shaq?
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. So basically what they did was they were going around the country, right? And they were looking for, the next person who was going to be on the Shaq All-Star, comedy tour. And I was able to be one of the finalists right here in the city of Dallas. And now this competition had over like 300, 400 comedians from all over the place. But I lost in the finals. So I didn't get to get on the tour. But it was just a good experience meeting the producers and a lot of people in the industry. And that was my first big comedy thing, at that point, where it's like, okay, so I'm really going somewhere. So even though I didn't win the actual thing, but, the conversations and the other doors that opened up from these, network producers and these comedy club owners, it really took me to the next level at that point.
And then you've been on tours. Obviously, I've seen with Bruce, hanging with Mr. Cooper, Mark Curry, and multiple other great ones. Is there a favorite venue that you've ever performed in? And tell us about one of those.
Gosh, man. So the guy that I really traveled with for a long time was the New York King of Comedy, Capone. And, we traveled for over 4 years together. And Capone basically opened up some doors for me to get into some crazy venues, man. And I tell you, I think the Baltimore Comedy Club, the Baltimore Comedy Factory was one of the wildest joints that I ever performed in, because the audience was there to either let you know that you suck or you're really, really good. So the energy that I got from them, man, was incredible. So that's one of those venues that just gave me that energy, and they just made me, keep going,
So, what happens then when someone busts your chops and you have a shitty performance? Like, how do you take that in?
I don't know. That ain't never happened to me. No.
Good. No, that's a great answer. I alley-ooped that to you, and I didn't even mean to.
But you know, every now and then you get a heckler, right? But you know, nothing for me. Thankfully, there's never been anything negative towards me or anything crazy to where I had to, you know, shut somebody down or you know. But just make fun of it, man. Just throw out the punches as it comes, you know.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
You ever had to throw them hands at somebody?
Hell no, man.
No, that's what we do. That's what we do. As funny people, I think that I'm funny too. But as funny people, we like to make our jokes to kind of ricochet having to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's right. You know, avoiding the punches.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do too. Have you ever been to Canada?
Yeah, so I've been to Canada 3 times, I think. Yeah. So I've actually, but 3-4 times. So I've done Toronto twice, and I've done Edmonton 1 time. Yeah. And all the 3 times that I've been to Canada, it's been freezing cold. Look, man, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know who y'all pissed off over there, because the weather in Canada is unbelievable, man. But you know what I found was funny is, regardless of how cold it is, you got a lot of Jamaicans and Africans in Canada.
Yeah, and for sure in Toronto.
Yeah, and I'm
the
like,
whole area.
This is the most tropical people on planet Earth, but they out there in Canada talking about, yeah, man, everything good, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. I got a couple of those buddies at work. And yeah, it's really freezing cold. And Crazy Bone, the rapper, was telling us the same story. How every time he comes to Canada, it's freezing.
Freezing, man. Freezing. But I love it. I mean, the energy has been always great in Canada, you know.
So how did or what is the Funny from A to Z brand? And is that still a thing?
Yeah, for sure. So in 2015, I believe it was, a buddy of mine who's in the comedy game by the name of Quentin Coleman, we decided to, it was time for me to film a special. And Quentin Coleman was, dibbling into management. And he was like, look, let me produce this thing. And so, we worked it out, and he was like, okay, but we need a title. What are we going to call it? And one day, man, he called me. He's like, Alfred, I got it. I think we need to call it Funny from A to Z. Funny from, America to Zimbabwe or Africa and back. That's where the A to Z came from. Funny from America to Zimbabwe, So I was like, that's what's up. So that's been my hashtag. That's been my brand. And that was my first comedy special. And I love that title, man. I always carry it all the way.
Kind of like me and my Only Touch Greatness. I've had it since because I used to be a mixtape DJ, so I was always doing like mixtapes that had my Dominican artist rap on someone's beat from somewhere else, English and Spanish music, and then reggaeton, it's called. Nice. So they would do reggaeton music, and then I would always be the middleman on the songs. And yeah.
So who's your favorite reggaeton artist? Because man, I used to jam reggaeton back in the the early 2000s, right?
Well, my favorite artist would be Concreto. But he worked with a lot of big names from the Dominican and the reggaeton music. So over the years, I always kept him on the English side. His Spanish side of him was pretty big as well, but I always kept him doing English verses because I didn't know what the hell he was saying.
What he was talking about, yeah.
So I had him do an English song, so he rapped in both languages.
I was a pretty big fan of Don Omar back in the day.
He had. I know who that is too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was some crazy music back in the day, man. Don Omar and Wisin Yandel, So I used to jam to reggaeton, man.
Yeah, back in the day, the Dominicans really loved that.
Oh, for sure, sure.
How did you and Mr. Network first come in contact?
Well, so he's a great friend of my manager, D. Sorrell. And that's how we linked up, man. It's always networking, man, in this industry. You know somebody who knows somebody, and that's why I always believe that it's always good to, to be good to people and to be kind to, because you just never know who you're talking to. So, he saw my set and he was like, dude, you're funny. We gotta try to help this guy to get out there as much as possible. So even though he's more so on the music side, he felt like, he believed in what I was doing, and decided, hey man, I'm gonna help you push, and that's what's been happening. So it's been a great relationship that we've created so far.
That's for sure. He's a great guy. I met him multiple times down at the West Coast Hip Hop Awards.
Nice.
It's a show up here. Where do you live?
I live in Dallas. I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Oh, come on now. Yeah,
you gotta be, right?
For sure.
Oh, okay. That's
what about you?
Too bad you guys suck,
right?
Yeah. Too bad you guys suck.
Too bad you guys suck too. Okay,
yeah, we did. We
in the same boat now.
Actually, you're true. Yeah, we're both that first round knockout team. We're kind of borderline doing good,
but you got Gino. I think Gino might do something this coming season, man. Now that he got paid, man, I think
he deserved it.
Yeah,
he deserved it. He killed it out here, and I had zero belief in him at all.
Yeah.
Going into, as a season ticket holder, my family is season ticket holder. I had zero. I picked them to finish last.
Wow.
And they just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, he
turned out. Gino surprised everybody, and then all you guys need is a new QB.
Yeah, and a new owner, and a new and a new coach, and I mean, we need new uniforms, bro. We need everything new.
That's true. They haven't changed their jersey in like 70 years.
Yeah, for real.
Who influenced you as a young comedian growing up?
As a young comedian growing up, man. So here's the thing. Back in Zimbabwe, right? We didn't watch stand-up comedy. We watched sitcoms. So this is how crazy this was, right? We had a lot of sitcoms growing up, like, Seinfeld, Martin, the Sanford and Son, those are the shows that we grew up watching. And I used to imitate those jokes and go tell them in school and all that good stuff, but only to realize when I came over here that all these guys that I used to watch on TV in these sitcoms were all stand-up comedians. So that blew me away, man. I had no idea that they all started off as stand-up comics. And so those were, and so when I first saw Martin hosting Def Comedy Jam, I was like, dude, I've been watching this guy on TV on a sitcom. So now I'm watching him do his stand-up. So he was one of my first influences, and Chris Tucker, and then next thing you know, I found out about the Kings of Comedy with Bernie Mac and Jerry Seinfeld. So it was like, wow, man, this is unbelievable. So once I watched them, I was like, okay, show me what's next,
So if you were having a dream dinner party and you can sit down with 3 famous people dead or alive, who do you want to choose?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. For instance, I go with Tupac. Seth Rogen would be my comedian because he's from Vancouver, so I love Seth Rogen.
Okay.
And then I'd probably want to see some eye candy, so I'd go with Shakira.
Yeah, okay. Dead or alive. So this is just celebrities that we're talking about, right?
Well, somebody famous, yeah. Because everybody has family they would obviously choose first.
Gotcha. Wow, that's an interesting question. Definitely Bernie Mac would be the comedian that I would like to sit down with, because I think he was just incredible. And
he was.
And I want to sit down with Moses so he can tell me how it really was in Egypt. You know what I mean? I want him to tell me how he really split that water. And what is the burning bush? Let's lay that debate to rest. Now, is it really the spliff, or was it something else? You know what I mean? So
I believe it to be the joint.
You know what I mean? I think that's what it was. The burning bush was something that got him really lit, And then number 3, I think I would say, wow, man, Elon Musk.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
that's good.
He's kind of crazy.
How many vacuums did you sell to get to school.
How did you find out about that?
Dude, I dig deep into my guests on my show.
You did, man. That's a great question, man.
And it gets better as it goes. You start with I always do it like I start with the beginning of your career and your life, and then we get into having fun questions.
That's what's up. That's a crazy question. So listen, man, that was one of my first gigs. As a matter of fact, I truly believe that selling vacuum cleaners really helped me with my communicating skills, because it was direct sales, right? So you used to get this vacuum cleaner for $3,000, would go into homes and you ever watched the episode of I Love Lucy where the sales guy comes in and he dumps a whole bunch of dirt on the floor and then tries to pick up the dirt with her vacuum cleaner first and then come back behind with his? That's exactly how we used to do. That's exactly it. The moment these people let us in their homes, man, we're throwing dirt all over the place. And so I used to be good, man. I did it for a long time. I used to be very good. But in the beginning, I used to be very timid. I was scared because, you're talking to people, you're trying to sell. I didn't believe I was a salesperson. Then one of my trainers was like, Alfred, let me tell you something. A timid salesman's got skinny children, bro. You're going to starve to death if you don't learn how to talk to these people. And I was like, shit, I better start selling. So next thing you know, I'm pushing these vacuum cleaners in these houses, man, and people are buying. And I just knew the best way to get a people buy something that you had is to make them laugh, bring their guard down, let them have fun, enjoy themselves. And next thing you know, the money comes out. So yeah, that's what I used to do that, man.
And you used to do that to pay for school though, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it was, helped me going to college and take care of myself. But it was a lot of money. The way they hooked us up in the ad was they would say, you can come out and show 60 presentations and you make $2,400. Dude, this is like 2003, 2004. You telling a 22-year-old kid you make $2,400 at that time? We were like, shit, that's a lot of money, Yeah.
In Canada, we had selling knives. You went door to door selling knives.
That's right. Direct sales.
Improv helped make you better.
Oh my gosh, dude. The improv has really, really helped my career tremendously. So right after that Shaq All-Star competition, right, one of the general managers of the improvs, this guy used to manage about 4 of them. He came to me after that show because the final competition was held at the club. He had never seen me before. And he was like, you are funny. We want to work with you. And he said, are you free this weekend? I was like, absolutely. And that was the first weekend that I became a host at that club. And check this out. Guess who the first comedian I hosted for was? Capone. He came into town and I hosted, and you see how things work, man. God was just working for me, you know what I mean? And so the improv really got me in front of all these guys, and I got to work with them. That's how I got to work with Bill Bellamy, with Bruce, Michael Collier, like John Reap. Man, I've worked with a lot of incredible comedians, and they were able to just teach me a lot. So it's like every other weekend I was there. So I started off as a host. Then I stepped up, and next thing you know, they promoted me to be a feature. Now I'm featuring for these headliners. And then next thing you know, they're like, okay, Alfred, we're going to give you a one-nighter. Let's see how you do. Bam, now I'm a headliner, one-nighter. Next thing you know, bam, you get a full weekend. So it's a slow progress, but it was just working. And I owe them, a debt of gratitude for sure. The improv, they helped me a lot.
When I found you on Mr. Network's story a couple of days ago, you were up here in the Pacific Northwest, correct?
Yeah.
What did you think? How do you like the Pacific Northwest?
I loved, man. It's crazy. I was really expecting nice weather. I've been very unlucky with the weather up there, man. It's not.
Because for me, that's a 2-hour drive. Like I go to Seahawks games every weekend. So
okay.
So we're 2-hour drive in the car from my door to the stadium.
Right. So I was up in Northern California and it was a major festival that was happening out there, and it was raining and snowing too. I mean, you had snow-capped mountains, and everybody who lives there was freaking out. Oh my gosh! And then I just left a snowstorm right here in Dallas, so I was like, this ain't shit. But yeah, man, it was nice. It was a very different vibe altogether. You know, the mountains, the scenery was really dope. I mean, obviously the comedy was just on fire. You know.
So what's it like then when you get snow down in Dallas? You gotta
see,
because that's like nothing up here for us, and I hate snow.
We ain't used to it. I don't know. Go on my feed, man. There's like maybe 10 videos down. You're gonna see me in my driveway busting my ass when we had a snowstorm, because it turns into ice over here. So we have sheets of ice, so everybody just sliding everywhere, and we don't have
so warm that it melts.
Well, no, because it was freezing. Yeah,
but it'll melt and then freeze because of your heat.
Exactly.
Yeah, we get that shit. We get that shit a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me about your time with Comedy Central.
Well, so basically what happened was there's a brother by the name of Rudy Rush, another great comedian out of New York, who I got to open for. And, Rudy used to be the host of Showtime at the Apollo at some point. And basically he was like, dude, man, there's a show that's going to be coming, and they're going to be looking for some new talent. And I think you'd be great on it. Just keep on working, And you sometimes you don't pay attention to it if you've been in the game for so long, because you hear it all the time, right? Hey man, I think you're gonna be great in this, and nobody ever calls you back. But a couple of months later, man, he called me. He said, "Look, man, Kevin Hart is about to start a new show." I said, "Who?" He said, "Kevin Hart." Oh, out of here. And it's like, yeah, man. So we're gonna get you in, man. We're gonna make sure that you do this show. It's going to be heart of the city. He's going to be going from city to city looking for 3 or 4 of the best comedians in each city and putting them on. And sure enough, man, they watched my tape and they called me. And they're like, yeah, man, we're going to get you on this show. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was blown away. Like, dude, this is one of the biggest comedy superstars in the world. And he's talking about, he watched my shit and he thinks I'm funny and they're about to put me on, And so they, brought us out to Houston. We filmed in Houston, and it was an incredible, incredible time, and changed my world in the comedy.
You still talk to him? Kevin Hart?
Well, for sure. I mean, with his team and everybody, Joey Wells, so yeah, we've created a great relationship. As a matter of fact, every time now that they come into town, Kevin, they play the big arenas. I'm there, man. I got the hookup. I'm like,
yeah. I see him every time he comes to Vancouver as well.
That's what's up. Yeah. So
I don't miss him. He's my favorite too.
He's amazing, man.
Yeah. Really other than Seth Rogen.
Oh, but that's your boy, huh?
Yeah, because he's from Vancouver and he smokes weed. Like he's like me. Okay. What's one thing you want to teach a young comic coming up?
Wow. Be yourself, no matter what. Know what you want to do in this business, okay? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not no short-term program. You got to be in it for the long haul. It's a journey. It's not a race. Take the time to get to know who you are as a comedian. Learn the business. There's more business to it than just talent. Talent is really 10%. 90% of it is business. You got to learn how to talk to the people who can get you, into the doors that you need to get into. Create these relationships. Comedy is a very small fraternity. We might be a lot of comedians, but very small. Like, somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So, we got to talk to each other right. And let your word be your bond, because it might really just mess yourself up in the long run,
And that's just you were just saying about I might know somebody that you might know somebody, and just that like I see all these shows in Vancouver. There's a couple of guys that are always doing shows, putting on shows, and doing comedy stuff, and it's tough, but they all seem to work together and they do good, and maybe they'll get you up. Maybe they'll get you up here.
Exactly.
I'm going to show them this clip, obviously. It's right in New West, and it's only the best guys go there.
For sure.
Or any young artists about open mics, because they have those at all my local bars and stuff. And that was important. You were saying in one of your clips that I found.
Yeah.
They mean a lot to you.
Listen, open mics is everything, man. Open mics is like, Arnold Schwarzenegger going to the gym every freaking day, bro. That's how you're going to work that muscle. That's how you just going to get buff. That's the same thing with the stage. You're not going to get sharp if you're getting on stage once a week. It's not going to happen. You might practice on your couch, but your couch ain't going to give you the response that the people going to give you. Those 5-10 people in that room going to let you know if your shit is funny or not. And then that's going to give you the feedback you need. Like, okay, they laughed at this, but they didn't laugh at this. And I thought this was good. I thought this was dope. It lets you grow as a comic. So when I started comedy, and I still do it today, man, I try to get on stage 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes twice a night. That's what I tell these young comics. Like, you got to get out there. You got to be willing to work and get your shit together.
Yeah, same as everything. Get your feet on the ground, right? You want to be out there in the street, or not the streets, but you know what I mean. But
absolutely,
like you out there and grinding and making shit happen, manifesting it yourself.
That's right. Nobody's gonna do it for you. You got to get out there and get it. Yeah,
that's exactly the same thing I had to do with the podcast.
Nice.
How do you feel when you have to interact with the fans after?
It's a great feeling. It really is cool. I mean, I actually enjoy it more when I'm on stage and they giving me that energy while I'm working. Yeah. Once we get off stage, sometimes it kind of gets, kind of awkward for me because, they want to take pictures and I'm like, I'm tired. That one-on-one interaction is kind of like, but it's good. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. How do you took to interacting fans and being spotted out in public, or be like, "Hey, there's some funny guy. Like, tell me a joke." Like,
that does happen a couple of times where you're having dinner and someone's like, "Hey, man, I seen you the other day at the show. Can I take a picture?" I like it. I mean, it's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
It really is cool.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I never expected, right? I do this because I'm a stand-up comic, but when it starts happening, you're like, whoa, this is kind of crazy, but I love it.
You get the guys, everybody has a joke they want to tell you. You get guys in the bar in your ear, like
that happens every time, bro. Every time.
I bet. Have you been in any movies?
Well, yes, actually, as a matter of fact, I have. We did one movie called The Disconnection Notice. This was a few years ago. The movie had Rodney Perry was in it, Kelly Kells, Myron the Cheetah was in the movie. There's a lot of up-and-coming comedians who are really making a name for themselves right now. And so I got cast into the movie, and my shit was horrible. You hear me? Like, I'm talking about... like, I watched the movie for like 15 minutes. My part, I was like, ooh, get me out of this movie. You know what I mean? So, but it was my first experience. So, yeah, it was pretty dope.
What's coming up for you? You got any upcoming shows and tours?
I do. So this year is looking pretty busy for me. I'm going to be at the Apollo next month, April 13th. I'm going to be in New York, produced by deaf comedy legend, Mr. Bob Sumner himself. Then, I got some festivals coming up. I'm going to Africa this year, man. It's been a while. The last time I was in Africa was in 2019. 2019, actually, right before the pandemic. So I'm ready to go back. I'm doing Uganda, South Africa, Kenya, and then my hometown Zimbabwe as well. So I'm really pumped up about that. So yeah, it's gonna be busy.
Who wins in an arm wrestling? You or Michael Blackson?
Who is in an arm wrestling contest between Mike Skinny, man? Mike Little.
Yeah, I know.
I got him, bro.
yeah. Have you met him?
Yeah, I've met Michael.
Okay.
I've met Michael. Yeah.
Did he kind of pave the way maybe for you guys?
Listen. Let me tell you something. This is a true story, right? 2001, I'm in America. I'm getting my feet wet. Not the first show that I started watching was Comic View. Okay. Comic View was the it show. And then next thing you know, I said this black ass dude from Africa on there, man, with this big dashiki, and he making them laugh, bro. I mean, they were rolling up like, what? Who is this guy, right? And so that really helped me because I was like, okay, because that was one thing that I was really nervous about. Like, man, are they going to like me? You know, I'm from Africa. You know, maybe they're going to make fun of the way I talk, the way I sound. But when I saw Michael do that shit, I was like, oh, yeah, I could do this too. Yeah. So, Mike, shout out to Michael Blackson, man.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of his. I have been forever. I'm always been in his DMs. I know when he used to post those pictures, it'd be like an animal, and then he'd post his face or some shit, and then like a split screen.
That was called the who did this shit.
Yeah, who did this shit to me, right? And I was in his inbox all the time. He shared my stuff a bunch of times.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I've been trying to hammer out an interview with him. That would be a dream one too, actually.
Yeah, get it.
Never know, we might see this now. Worst experience on stage, and how did you learn from it?
So in my early years, man, I got a gig at a country bar. Okay, so there was a country band playing, and the manager said, "Yeah, I'll give you 10 minutes during the band's recess." So this is, the band does their set. They go off the stage to go into the green room, and right in between the recess, I was supposed to get on stage and do my shit. Worst idea ever, because all these people in here, they're already half drunk, and I'm still new, so I didn't even know how to do crowd control. And there was nobody warm up the crowd. It was just the dude who owns the bar. He walked up and said, "Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, while the band is in the back room down there, we can go ahead and bring this guy. He gonna be a comedian for the next 10 minutes. Y'all give it up for this boy, though, Alfred Kainga. Give it up for him." And man, I just walked up and nobody is listening. And I'll never forget this because I think I said one or two jokes, and this one drunk dude was in the audience. He's like, "Hell, I'm funnier than him." I was like, "Oh shit!" It was so bad. The owner of the bar came to the side of the stage and said, "Hey, Alfred, listen, I'm gonna have to shut it off." I said, "Nah, let me keep going." That dude turned off my microphone, man.
So what'd you learn from that?
Do not do country bar band during a recess. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's 100% true. It's like even at our bar, my local bar here, and my sponsor, they'll do like the band, live band, boom, boom, boom. You're going live band. All of a sudden, they'll like cut to the DJ for 10 minutes while the band takes a break. Yeah. And then, sure, we would rather have the DJ, but it's still the DJ's got to get the crowd back going. You only got a 10-minute window. And
true. But at least you're playing music as a DJ. Listen, man, I'm talking about the room is quiet. and now they're expecting you to make them laugh. Oh, that shit did not go well, man.
What's your goals for the next 5 years?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm just working out to grow this brand. I would like the whole world to know who I am and what I got going on and what my funny is all about. I just want people to pay attention to my story and build this thing and let them know, when they ask what good can come out of Africa, I want them to say Alfred Kainga is one of those guys, And so just to bring along everybody from back home from Zimbabwe and be like, "Hey man, check out this next guy. He's funny too. Check out this next guy. He's funny too." So that's what I'm out here doing. Definitely want to get into more television and more movies for sure.
And we got to get you to Vancouver.
And I got to get to Vancouver.
If you're getting in a time machine, where would you go?
Dude, I would go back to see how they built the pyramids, man. That's where I'm going.
Fucking aliens.
There wasn't no aliens. Give credit to Africa, damn it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It probably was. I know it's over here. They just pumped the alien story into our head.
Yeah, I know.
And that's maybe not in Canada, but on the American TV, whenever I get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
If you could play any professional sport, what would it be?
Well, I was a semi-pro soccer player, bro. I played soccer in high school, and then when I came out here to the States, I was playing for a semi-pro team right here in Texas up until 2006. I got into a car wreck, messed up my knee, so that was the end of that. So, yeah, soccer was my thing. football, real football for all my Europeans and African people listening. I'm like, why are you calling it soccer? Yeah,
Yeah, no, we call it soccer.
yeah, I know.
Because football to us is obviously the NFL.
That's right. That's right.
What music would we find on your playlist?
Everything, man. From Afro beats to reggae, dancehall to U2 and Coldplay. Oh man, come on, man. I got it all. My African music, my South African music, my Zimbabwean music. I listen to everything.
So this might be a stupid question that might get edited out, but there's that Calm Down song. Is that guy from Africa?
Which one is this?
Calm Down.
Find it.
You don't know it? That didn't help? Probably doesn't sound better in my English, my Canadian accent.
No.
Calm down. Yeah, Rima with Selena Gomez.
Oh yeah. Rima. Okay. Yeah, that's a hit, man. That's a hit.
I'm just getting my hands on this within the last week or two, and I'm loving it.
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a hit, man.
Then I found yesterday. They made it with Selena Gomez too on like a remix. I was listening to the original.
That's the remix, yeah. The one with Selena's the remix, yeah. That's for sure.
So he's obviously from Africa too, right?
Yeah, he's from Nigeria, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's hot. He's on fire right now.
Yeah, he is, right? Because I seen a clip too online where they're like, "This is when he knew you made it." And the whole crowd was singing,
and he was just standing there.
Yeah, I teared up.
That was a dope feeling.
What's your personal highlight?
My personal highlight?
Yeah.
Man, spending time with my daughter. Man, and just watching her grow, watching her becoming the little person that she is. She's turning 5 in a couple of weeks, and so that's just amazing for me. That my first child, and it's like, man, it's incredible to watch a little human being grow up. You
have a favorite drink?
Favorite drink? Ginger beer. I'm a ginger beer guy. I like that.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, superpower. I'd be invisible.
That's a good one. I always like to know. I want to know what my date was thinking before she left me behind.
Damn. So you want to know people's thoughts? You want to know?
Yeah, a mind reading or something. But
oh man, you would hear so much, bro.
Okay. Hey, Tupac or Biggie?
Man, why you gotta do me like that?
It's final question. It gets edited.
I'll say Biggie. I'll go with Biggie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for giving me your time today, and I enjoyed it. It was fun, and I'll make this look really pretty.
I know you will, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you having me on your platform, man.
You want anything you want to plug before we take off?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody, follow me on my social media pages. And they're really simple. I'm on Instagram. My name is Alfred Kainga. It's spelled ALFREDKAINGA. I'm also on Twitter. And on it's ALFREDKAINGA. You can also find me on plentyoffish.com. And on it.
Yeah. I'm on that Christian Mingle. My name's Dick like Jesus.
You gonna get struck.